tonight's event. So first of all, I'm going to introduce Professor Mark Hoffman, who is the Deputy Vice-Chancellor Academic of this university. Thanks so much, Mark. Give him a round of applause. The man is brave. This is great. Thank you very much. Our second speaker for the... So Mark will be our third speaker. Our second speaker for the staff team is Associate Professor Karen Blackmore, who was the Assistant Dean for Work Integrated Learning of the College of Engineering and Science in the Environment and the Deputy President of Academic Senate. But now in her spare time, she's going to move over and be a head of school as well. So welcome to Karen. And the first speaker for the staff team. And the first speaker for the wonderful staff team is Professor Kate Nash, who's actually a new staff member to the University of Newcastle. I think this is one of your big first public outings, isn't it, Kate? Oh my goodness, you have to give her a welcome. So, Kate is the Dean and Head of School for Humanities, Creative Industries and Social Science, and doing some great things already. What an amazing team. Now, backing up the staff team this evening is an amazing student, TJ, who's an iLEAD member, he's a student volunteer, and he's doing a Bachelor of Electrical and Electronic Engineering honours as a student here at the University of Newcastle, and these guys are going to love him because TJ is a great thinker of many ideas. So welcome to TJ. Thanks, TJ. And they're the affirmative tonight. They're going to argue on behalf of celebrating AI. And now it's time to introduce our amazing student team. So the third speaker for the student team is Mr. Matthew Hackett, who's the President of the University of Newcastle's Engineering Society. He's an iLEAD participant and he's a Bachelor of Aerospace Systems Engineering Honours student and amazing Career Connect Award recipient very soon as well. Welcome, Matthew. Second speaker for this evening is Ronak Jain. He's the executive member of the University of Newcastle's Engineering Society, and he's doing a Bachelor of Electrical Engineering and a Bachelor of Computer Systems Engineering honours, both, here as a student. Welcome, Ronak. It's just wonderful to have you here. This is great stuff. These guys are amazing. Okay, and to lead the team off, the team captain, let's say, Amber. So Amber is the first speaker, Amber Kelleher. She's another iLEAD participant, a student volunteer, and she's a nationally recognised advocate for the 2023 National Student Volunteering Week. And she's a Bachelor of Communication student in her spare time. Welcome, Amber. I'm not sure how many of you had much experience with debating. Let me just cap off on the rules here. Oh my God, James. That's just appalling. This man, James Hunt, is actually a retired professor of the university and comes back and spends his time helping our students out and as a guest professor, but tonight has travelled here to support our student team. How appalling that I forgot to introduce him. That's my rudeness. Well done. He's actually an avid supporter of iLEAD. He was our guest speaker last year and we got the most incredible feedback. So James, we do honour you, other than my awful brain. Okay, so let's get into the rules of debating. The rules of debating are this. Each speaker has 5 minutes to present their argument on behalf of their team. You will hear a bell at 4 minutes, so they know they've got a minute left to go. There'll be a 5-second bell at 5 minutes to let them know their time is up. And if they get to 6 minutes, we're just going to ring the bell continuously in a way that suggests that they should sit down. But I'm sure that won't be required. Debating is a tricky thing. You come with ideas in your mind that you want to put forward on behalf of your case, but you also have to rebut the opposite team. So to help us determine who's doing this the best, we have a moderator this evening. I'm now going to introduce Professor Steve Warburton, who's also new to the University of Newcastle. Is this your first time at the Bar on the Hill, Steve?
I come here every night.
Oh, there you go. So a different sort of character to Professor Kate Nash, but there you go. But Steve's very kindly, as my Pro-Vice-Chancellor for Education and Innovation, he's my boss, so we've all got to behave very well this evening. He's going to help us make the decision about who it is that wins that debate. We're going to Make that decision based on crowd response, but also Steve's going to give you some advice along the way. Okay, so this is serious stuff. Let's get going. Let's get into it. To start and open the case for the affirmative team that we should celebrate what AI brings to society, Professor Kate Nash will now put her arguments. Thank you so much, Kate.
Hi all, I am super stoked to be here tonight to open the case for the affirmative that we should celebrate what AI has brought to society. I was ably assisted in my preparation tonight by ChatGPT, and I asked ChatGPT, is AI any good at debating? It said no, because computers always come up with bite-sized arguments. So, left pretty much to myself. As my esteemed colleagues and I will argue, AI has brought significant benefits to society that we ought to be celebrating, from early disease detection to personalised education, balancing energy supply and demand, to big data analysis, and my personal favourite, AI bees are helping to pollinate plants, which is pretty amazing. AI is revolutionising our lives, from translation and navigation apps to autocorrect to email filtering to autonomous vehicles, and trust me, when you get to my age, they look really, really important. So our argument is that AI is to be celebrated because it makes us more human. It allows us to live our lives more fully. AI is a concept that is not as new as you might think. It dates back to the 1950s, and it's defined as any technology that does something that would previously be requiring human intelligence. So I'm going to focus tonight on creativity. I'm going to argue that AI expands our imagination and democratises our ability to create. And it's really right that we celebrate that. But I want to up front say that it's really important that celebration need not be mindless or thoughtless, and that we know that there are important conversations to be had about artificial intelligence. It's right that we celebrate, but it's also right that we reflect, debate, and have informed regulation. So, to the matter of creativity. I want to argue that AI enhances our most human characteristic, our ability to create, to produce new concepts, ideas, inventions, and to express ourselves. It's our most valuable human attribute. It's what enables us to change the world and adapt to the world as it changes around us. It's an ability to manifest our imagination, to convey our emotions in amazing, original, and captivating ways. It's tempting to say that AI can't create, because after all, AI isn't human. It lacks originality, it lacks understanding, it lacks emotional intelligence and humour and passion, although I think ChatGPT has a sense of humour. But I want to suggest that we take a broader view and we actually place AI within a history of technologies that we have developed and used to enhance our own ability to create, to see the world differently. I want to go back to think about the surrealists. World War I, in the aftermath of the war, they wanted to free themselves of the ability to see the world in the ways they had become accustomed to seeing it. They shot ink at blank canvases. They developed collage. All of these things were technologies that they explored to be able to see the world differently. What they were trying to get at was divergent thinking. They wanted to see a field of possibilities, not a singular answer. And that is what AI is great at. Behind me, these images were generated by ACAN, an AI artist and collaborative creative partner. It was given 80,000 images from 500 years of Western art history and programmed to think differently, programmed to break the rules. All right, so what it's come up with is a whole lot of different ideas, different styles. Chris Bowman of The New Scientist said, now and then a painter like Claude Monet or Pablo Picasso comes along and turns the art world on its head. But could the next shake-up be the work of a machine? And of course, not everything it produces is transformational, just like not every artwork is transformational. The other thing I want to suggest is that AI democratises creativity. And I want to share with you here a picture that was created by a man called Jason Allen, and he created it with a program called Mid-Journey. And this is a program that turns text into hyper-realistic images. This was the first AI image that won an award at one of the 2022 Colorado State Fair. It unleashed a debate. Is it art? Is it a new kind of art? What is it? He described the experience of working with Mid-Journey as otherworldly. He's not an artist in the traditional sense, but he's somebody who found joy and the ability to express himself by thinking about how to take text and turn it into something beautiful. And lots of people found the joy in that. So to wrap up, to conclude, AI helps us, just as AI as technologies have also always helped us to see the world differently. We can be afraid that they might take away creativity, but actually they help us to be more creative. Thank you. Sorry, Belle.
I think the moderators found the bell. Thanks very much, Steve Warburton there. Okay, so thank you, Kate. I forgot my quote that I was going to share with you all at the beginning. It's that iron sharpens iron and the scholar sharpens the scholar. So let's see how sharpened our first speaker is. Come on, Amber, come up and offer the opening case for the negative. Let's go.
Oh, I recognise a few faces. In fact, I think I made some coffees for some people over there and there at the cafe at the Hive. Maybe you recognise me. And look, I'm not worried about my job as a barista being stolen by a robot, but I genuinely am worried about the job I've been training for, to become a teacher. I mean, what if it replaced these teachers? In fact, these teachers did give us some good arguments. And in their arguments, they were assisted by ChatGPT. And I'm very proud of them for giving credit to ChatGPT, but I wonder if they've forgotten all of the people that wrote blogs on the internet, all of the artworks on Google Images that ChatGPT accessed to create its arguments that were not credited. How would you feel if you were an artist? I'm sure there are plenty of us out there that are working with us, studying, giving years up of their life to train for something, and it's been taken and being used like those 5,000 images that were taken and used and analysed without credit or acknowledgement. They also said that AI democratises creativity, but I disagree. In fact, I think it's going to be a huge challenge for people who haven't grown up with this sort of technology, for people that don't have access to this technology, for people that won't be able to afford it once it becomes the sort of technology you have to pay for, to work against it. They also said AI makes us more human. But does it? I mean, it's great that it's assisting us, that it's helping us make decisions, that it's helping us choose where to eat, at which restaurants, but when does that stop? Will it teach us how to vote? Will you ask ChatGPT, please give me a summary of all of the political parties this year? And finally, it's programmed by people. And I think this is the thing we need to celebrate, the people that are programming AI. AI might sound like this incredible advancement in technology, but it comes at such an uncontrollable cost. And if we fail to stop now, this existential risk is going to destroy our current way of life. And we don't normally celebrate risks. I mean, the band played on, and I'm sure it was a merry affair, but the Titanic, it still sank. And I'm sure that many celebrities revelled in their success before they slipped up, and cancel culture came and gave them a bite on the behind. History has shown us over and over that now, at the precipice of this powerful moment that we cannot see the other side of, it is not the time to celebrate the handover of control. Now, I will try to warn you of AI's danger in the wrong hands and its ability to segregate us before my teammate Ron will talk about its ability to survey us, how it learns our patterns, our voting preferences, what we shop for, who we speak to, and what we think, and how each one of these things is now in the control of the people that control AI. And finally, Matthew will round up our debate by rebutting the affirmative team and remind you that we, humanity, is the thing that should be celebrated. Now, have you ever Googled yourself? Noelle was a student, and she was just like us that did exactly that. She took a photo of herself and did a reverse search just to see where it popped up. She never expected to find this image and many more plastered all over porn and adult websites, where AI had used deepfake technology to create images of her. They were protected by paywalls and being sold to people she did not know all around the world. She was not protected by the Australian government or any laws because the technologies that use AI, they will always be ahead of us. They will always be in front of the law, and the people that are affected by them will never have justice, and they will never be protected. We've all seen funny fake videos of Trump saying stupid things on YouTube, but deepfakes have the potential to destroy lives like Noelle's. And that's why it's important that we take responsibility for watching and for moderating AI in this very important time, rather than celebrating. So, to sum up, thank you, affirmative team, but no thank you. I think we won't be celebrating AI today, and I don't think you want to celebrate stories like Noelle's either. Thank you.
Check in with our moderator to see if he's got any reflections at this point. How are you feeling?
I've got to say, I'm just loving the bell, actually.
It's a definite strength area.
I don't want to get any feedback. Hey, look, I just want to say, clearly everyone's brought their A game tonight. I'm really impressed. The opening gambits have been really nice, so we're going with a bit of a creativity one here. Kate, I'm going to forgive you the bite-sized joke at the beginning, so that's all right. We'll let you off one pun, but nice start on creativity. You were divergent, and you've opened up your set of debates. Beautiful riposte, though. I think the equity, the dangers, the lack of human connectedness are quite powerful, so I'm really interested to see how this plays out. I think at the moment it's pretty even. Pretty even, I think. Audience, pretty even?
Yeah.
They just want to bail, you see, that's what it is. That's what they want. So let's see how we go. Let's move to our second speakers.
Brilliant. Okay, thanks, Steve. Okay, here comes our second speaker, Associate Professor Karen Blackmore. Go for it, Karen. Thanks very much. Bit of a hand, bit of a warm. Yep, please.
Thank you very much, and I am declaring tonight that as the second speaker for the affirmative, I'm actually a computer scientist, and so uniquely placed to rebut some of the comments that have been made from the negative side here. And I'm going to start off by saying hello to everybody, welcoming you here, and just saying how much I appreciate that you've come along to listen to us tonight. So, I'm just going to take the first one of these, and I'm going to say, as an educator, I was actually slightly offended at the suggestion that I could be replaced by an algorithm. If we are at a point now where we think education is nothing more than marking and sheets of paper and mundane tasks, then we have lost sight what it truly means to be human, and that is the core argument we are arguing here that AI enables us to be. As an educator, I would like to think that AI will bring a future that will free me up from the things that aren't education. It would allow me to connect one-on-one with my students because I would have time to do that. I would have ability for my students to do tests, get instant feedback provided through AI, while I, as an educator, have the ability to speak with you, to actually understand what motivates you, what inspires you, and to deliver on that. So the suggestion that that is the work that's going to be replaced by a piece of AI, I'm offended. So another point that was made was respect with that AI is actually, it's just copying. It's taking what we do and it's almost stealing it. But how does anything we ever do we not walk upon the shoulders of those who've come before us? Are we saying as human beings we don't look behind us to work out where we're going in the future? Is that nothing more than what an algorithm is doing when it takes data and learns from it? It does it quicker, but it's not doing what we as human beings don't instinctively do already. Do not artists be inspired by the work of others? And so therefore is it wrong for an AI to be inspired by the work of others? And we did. There was a mention about the Titanic. Yes, we built a big boat and it sunk as human beings, but we didn't stop building boats. And actually we've all benefited as a society because we kept building boats and then we built more things. And yes, along the way, things failed, things didn't work, but that has never stopped us as human beings pursuing a life that is more human, to actually seek what is humanity. And so AI has been around since the 1950s. This is not new. As computer scientists, this is not something that's landed down that we take lightly. That is, like any other technology, we explore how we make the best of it to improve human beings' lives. And so, and another point of rebuttal here too was the notion of the images and deep fakes. Hello, Photoshop. Have we not heard of people using misinformation? Have we not heard of human beings altering information for deceitful purposes? Is it only AI that is going to seek to deceive, or is this not what human beings already do? And so, yes, we do need to provide solutions, and yes, we are capable of finding those things to limit humanity, to say that we can't pursue a better life for ourselves because we're too fearful of making a mistake, is not how we've got cars, it's not how we got to the moon. So, which will lead me to my little argument I would like to make. And I'm going to go really, really quick. And so, there was a comment there about losing jobs. The World Economic Forum report of 2025 Jobs of the Future actually suggests that there will be more jobs created by AI than those that it will lose. They will jobs that are requiring our instinctive humanity. Imagine a world where doctors aren't busy filling in forms but are there instead talking to their patients. Imagine a world where teachers have time to connect with you. This is what AI is going to deliver us. Actually more humanity than what we currently have. So as we move forward, critics argue around leading to job losses. Jobs are going to evolve. We will become a new kind of workforce. One that's not spent doing things that we don't need to do, that are repetitive, that are mundane, that are boring. We will move forward and it will allow us to reach new heights of human potential. That's what AI offers us. What can we be in the future? And that's an exciting world.
There from the staff team. How are we going over here, student team? Are we ready to put our debate back? Rono, how are you feeling? All right, I'm calling one up to the microphone. Here he comes.
Thank you very much, second speaker for the negative team, for those arguments, but I'd like to say you're blankly wrong. So first of all, I'd like to start by saying you're a computer scientist, I respect that, but with AI, you're only here to benefit from it, not the hard-working, blue-collar workers whose jobs are being taken from AI. So you're obviously going to be for it. Secondly, you said that teachers are going to use AI for their benefit to help teach more students, and that it won't replace them. But it will, because we think about a classroom with 10 teachers teaching 10 different subjects. With the development of AI, those 10 teachers won't be needed anymore. At the end, we're only going to need one teacher because AI will do all the marking, everything that the teachers already do currently will be replaced by AI. So 9 teachers out of 10 will lose their jobs. And also, so many people already use YouTube and other websites to teach themselves. So with the development of AI in the next coming years, who's to say that AI won't be completely taking over what teachers already do currently? Okay. Imagine if someone was listening to each and every one of your thoughts right now. You might be thinking, oh, the affirmative team's too old to know anything about AI. Or you might be thinking, oh, I'd rather be at home right now, snuggled up with an hoodie and a nice cup of coffee, watching Married at First Sight. Or you might be thinking, the dude on the other side of the crowd tonight is a lot cuter than the date that you've currently brought. This sounds ludicrous to you, but I'm telling you, this is each and every one of your futures. Every thought that we think, we sub-vocalize it. That means that we make small micro-expressions in our face, neck and jaw when we think it. And MIT have come out with a project called Alter Ego, and that's able to detect those small sub-micro facial expressions that we make and actually convert them back into words. Do you know what this means? They can read your thoughts. So imagine if someone hooked that up to a surveillance system. Does this not sound problematic to you? This is the start of a dystopian society, dystopian surveillance state, and it's coming to Australia. China's already started tracking over 11 million Uyghurs, innocent Uyghurs, and tracking their every single move. Just think, with this advancement of AI, how easy it would be for them to track every single thought they make. These are innocent people, and a totalitarian state like China could take advantage of them. Is that something you really want to celebrate?
No.
Now, China already has an incredibly dystopian social credit system, which already transgresses many human rights. Imagine if, just because they thought to vote for the wrong guy, someone got their bank account cancelled, got their family kidnapped, or banished. Just for the slightest misthought. That's the future that you're wanting to celebrate with AI, is it? Negative team? That's why Elon Musk, I don't know, if you've probably heard of him, right, yeah? He created OpenAI, the creator of ChatGPT. He himself has called for a pause on the development of the AI for 6 months until better security measures are put in place. AI also disproportionately affects hard-working, true blue Australians who are doing lower skilled, who make up the majority of society. Taking out these jobs takes away foods from the families of hard-working people in the country. And you might argue, oh, well, you know, they're just going to find better jobs. You know, AI is going to create more jobs. But no, that's not the case, because those jobs aren't all equally accessible to everyone. To upskill for those jobs, lower socioeconomic people don't have as many resources to upskill themselves to get those jobs as more well-off people. So that's going to further increase the social stratification that we already feel in Australia, and that is something that I don't want to celebrate. So, okay, right, it's taking your job. AI is also impacting our relationships. Think about this. You know, you meet this girl. She's perfect, she's cute, she's funny, she's smart, everything you'd want in a girl. So you take her out on a few dates. She's laughing, she's having a great time. You know, you start to think she's the one. And then a couple months down the line, see how it's going, and she starts smiling at her phone. I don't know, everyone's been there, right? No? Okay, just me? Okay, that's fine. She starts smiling at her phone. And then slowly, you get curious, but you didn't think much of it. So you go on a couple more dates, everything's going well, but she's staring at her phone more and more, and she's not.
Maybe you should be worried about that. But at the end of the day, the thing that AI will do, it enables us to expand our imagination. All of that time we spend doing mundane tasks that we would really prefer not to do, they're the things that will be taken over by AI. It also democratises creativity. We had the example of the artwork. Every artist is building upon the artwork of previous artists. It's been a continuum right through time. And then they put their own special creative piece onto it. What does AI do? It brings all of that previous work together really quickly, but the special piece can happen faster. And it can, all of us can do it. It broadens out, and the really good artists will be the ones with the really creative ideas, not the ones that have had to spend so much time building on the previous work from others. Now, the final point that I wish to sum up from our arguments here is that AI will create more jobs, and it'll create better jobs. That's what technology has done since history began. It's created jobs that people really want to have. It takes away the mundane jobs and enables us to do even more exciting things. And those more exciting things are the human things, because it's the human part that AI can't do. So what it will do, it will enable us to reach new heights of human potential. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mark. I think he's brought the affirmatives case home very well. That's the final speaker for the affirmative side tonight. All right, the final speaker for the negative and the last speaker for this evening, Matthew Hackett, is about to bring the debate home.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you for the affirmative team's arguments. You mentioned that AI is a good thing. And while we somewhat agree that we're saying we shouldn't use AI at all, that we just should not be blindly praising it. You mentioned the Industrial Revolution and having it job support to society, but it put people into factories and created an enslaved working class. And what will happen with AI? I believe it will do the same thing. You also mentioned that each generation has its own innovations. Recently, just out of South Korea, there's been room temperature semiconductors, which will revolutionize the way that our electronics work. And you mentioned that facial recognition is so far off, that maybe that is just our generation's next discovery. Facial recognition is also extremely dangerous because it can be misused so easily. It can be used in a waiting room for a job interview to pre-select certain people, people with the experience, people with upper class who aren't as worried about this job. If you're breaking into the workforce for the first time, how nervous are you going to feel? That facial recognition could detect your doubts and make you never get that job. It will further divide the working class. It can also determine a person's guilt in court. Imagine that. You're in court, you're fighting for your life, and what is determining your fate is not a jury, not a judge, but AI. Furthermore, everyone has these intrusive thoughts. You know, you're sitting over there, you go, that person's cute, like Ron said. But it could also be much worse than that. Imagine you're standing on the edge of a cliff. Have you ever been on the edge of a cliff and go, oh, what would happen if I jumped off that? Do you want AI to be reading that and thinking it's in your best interest to push the rest of society off a cliff? Because that's what it could do. It could do that for things just like that, or who you vote for, or how the country is run. I believe that we shouldn't be reading people's thoughts to determine society. Another argument that the affirmative team has made throughout the evening is that AI will replace the tasks that take up a lot of time but don't contribute much. Things like, marking, giving feedback. But where do we draw the line with where these tasks are replaced? If we keep moving this line further and further, say, oh, it's going to do some marking for me, but hey, I might just let it decide what I have for breakfast. I might, let it decide, I don't know what to respond to this girl I think is cute. Oh, I'll just let AI. It's going to lose our sense of humanity and our sense of a community. Soon, we'll be moving that line and we'll keep going until we just ask AI, hey, who should I vote for? You know better than me. The people who control that AI will be able to control each and every one of your lives because you keep moving that line and you keep letting it dictate what you do. With that, we are no longer human. We are no longer a society. Is this really something that you want to celebrate with AI? Now, I could go on and on, but really, what's the point? It is clear the affirmative team have not truly thought about the real-world consequences of AI and the real-world ramifications is if AI becomes super mainstream within society. They have a huge amount of confirmation bias upon them. And really, I can't blame them. The chances are the AI won't take effect by the time that they're dead. But it will affect us as students in our livelihoods. It will affect our ability to get jobs. They already have jobs, that's fine. It will affect us as students. As Amber and Ronna said, do you really want to be celebrating lives being ruined with deep fakes and people having images of themselves plastered upon porn sites that they did not create and do not consent to? Do you really want your relationships to be replaced with AI? And do you really want to celebrate the eventual downfall of society that AI will come with? I truly believe that we should not be celebrating AI. And I hope that our arguments have also made you believe that. Now is not the time to be Nero and fiddle while Rome fell. It is not the time to be the band on the Titanic. Now is the time to take action and impose regulation upon AI. It could be the most devastating innovation society could ever see, and for that reason, we should not be celebrating it. Instead, what we should do is be the generation who takes action upon AI, like we've already done for so many other issues, like human rights, global inequality issues, and climate change. Why don't we just add AI to that list? So instead of celebrating AI, let's celebrate the people who make the world the place it is today. The happy world, the beautiful world, the messy world, the creative world. Let's celebrate that world and the people that make it, you.
Our final speaker, Matthew Hackett, thank you very much. All right, this is where you all have to start digging deep into your own intelligence and wondering, and you're going to help us decide who has won the debate. Steve, do you have any last comments to offer to the audience to help them with their decision making?
I do. I'm still wondering where the iceberg is. Look, that was fantastic. I've got to say, wow. Absolutely brilliant. Love the rebuttal. So just a bit of a summary, because I'm going to come to a little conclusion as well. So Mark, I really like the piece around fear, embracing change and thinking about the future, and the positivity that we might take out of AI. So I think it's a really good, strong argument. It kind of reminds me a bit of the phrase around how do we bring AI safely to scale. The argument is we need to grasp it and we can take control of that. The rebuttal, excellent, and I think really I guess just to summarise it was really what are the ethical debates that actually situate themselves around AI. So again, I think the audience got that. That's really quite a strong piece in that. I would, if I were going to summarise, I would say, as we probably already understand from this debate, what it challenges us to do is to think about what it means to be human. And I think that's the debate. So one side I would suggest is, does it amplify what it means to be human? or does it diminish what it means to be human? And what is that call to action if we take one side or the other? And I will end there. I think it's pretty even. I am going to leave it to the audience to decide how we're going to do that now.
Well, ironically, we're using technology. My goodness me.
Excellent.
We're putting this decision in the hands of the machine who are going to measure the weight of your hands in a sort of circular manner. So, if we can bring up the app that we purchased today, Here we go.
Wow, look at
So,
that.
this is an applause meter. I'm going to ask 2 questions, so don't respond yet. Sit with this. I'm going to ask, first of all, for those who feel that the debate should be given to the affirmative, who argue that we should celebrate what AI brings to society, you will applaud. Don't do it yet. And then I will ask the same question, but this time for the negative, who argue that we should not celebrate what AI brings to society. And when you do that, you're going to see which side has gathered the loudest applause on the meter. And that's what's going to help us decide the debate. I'm excited. I've never done this sort of thing before. All right, get ready, people. For those who would like to give the debate to the affirmative, applaud now. That said 70 decibels. Is this working, Rachel? I'll have a thumbs up. Yep, okay, all right then. It's still sitting there. I think it's working. It's frozen.
It's frozen.
How ironic. Perhaps we put too much trust in the machine, eh? No, I don't want to come. No, I'm sorry, Karen. I've upset Karen, the computer scientist. Is there any way we can bring this back on, Rach?
It's working down here. So
Yep.
just get another round of it. We'll do it again. And I'll take the score here and feed it back to you, Mel.
Okay. Well, that wasn't a bad warm-up. That was your warm-up applause. And I think it's important that we know what we're up to. Okay. One more time. Let us endorse the affirmative to the strength that you would like to. Off you go. Applause for the affirmative. There's some people up here who don't have issues with their own self-esteem, and that's great. Excellent. Okay, all right. Those who would like to endorse the negative team, start applause. What's wrong, Rach?
You got up to 110 decibels.
110 decibels. That was impressive. All right. Okay. That's okay. That's our first go. Now, those who'd like to applaud for the negative team to win, off you go. Too much. Well, Rach, what did we get then?
115.
Oh! So, the first one around was?
110.
Versus 115 people. I think we have a winner. The student team have won this year's Student versus Staff Award. This is the perpetual trophy. The staff team won last year and they're engraved on the side. And we're going to be adding the Student Shield this year. Well done, everybody. But first of all, before we give the prize over and you guys fall upon the trophy with great glee, can you just give one last round of applause to the amazing staff who've given time in very busy lives. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. All right. And the trophy. Actually, Steve, you can give this over. No, to the team. To the team.
Bad luck stuff. Good effort, never mind. 5 decibels in it. I mean, no way to go. Congratulations, fantastic. Who wants to accept the trophy? First speaker. There we go.